Hello crew, I hope you have been well. I am sorry for having been gone for months. The amount of updates I have not given is impressive. So, we'll get to those eventually. But let us focus on the mission at hand for today. Fun fact, the sun is pretty much gone. I don't even know what this looks like. I mean, I can see it, but I imagine that it's gonna get dark real quick. So today, I'm gonna be reviewing 1917. I don't know if you remember when that came out a couple years ago, but it was all the rage, mainly because it was a single shoot, or the illusion of a single camera shoot the entire film, which is like a 2-hour plus film. Meaning their cuts in between takes are very cleverly hidden, like someone just walking quickly in front of the camera. That would have been a cut. Let's do the bottom line up front, the bluff for all my military folk. The movie is worth seeing if you like World War One. So if that's something you're into, do it. I have written down my takeaways from the film, so we're going to jump into that right now. The overall story of the film is there is a main character who has a friend. His friend is in a different battalion. Intelligence indicates that that other battalion is not, it's not intelligence, but the other battalion is planning to do an offensive soon. And intelligence indicates that, oh, that's a trap, don't do it. So then the main character's friend is told by high command, like, hi, you're this person's brother, right? You're gonna go on a quasi low chance of success mission. You're gonna go find your brother, tell his leadership to say, don't do the offensive. You're all going to be attacked aggressively because it's a trap. So that is the movie. It's about having to travel throughout a very austere environment because it's, again, World War I, trench warfare, chaos. You need to get to your brother, who's a couple miles that way, and you need to prevent hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people from dying because somehow we are not able to get the message to them in any other more efficient means, even though we have planes. You are going to go by foot secretly behind enemy lines and get to your brother and tell them to not go on the offensive tomorrow. So I think they had about 24-ish, maybe less than 24 hours to get that message to the main character's friend's brother. I will say I overall enjoyed the film. It seemed paced correctly, but I would understand if some said, a little bit slow. Watch the trailer and let me know. And more importantly, if you've already seen it, let me know your thoughts down below because I actually will respond. I'm actually relatively back. I am not going to make a promise, but I will respond to your comments. So if you've seen 1912 and you have good or negative opinions, let me know. But I did like the film. Let's make this a chit chat. Here we go. Here are my few notes for 1917. I would say, one, the friendship feels familiar. When I was looking back at, I was never in combat, full send, infantry combat. So I've never been in that situation, but still, as someone in the military, currently, there's just something about your peers in the military. There's just something, it has the camaraderie, the jokes, the banter between the main character and his best friend, or at least his best military friend. It felt familiar. So that's one note. Next, these are E3s. So for all of my people watching this who don't speak military rank yet, this is only two ranks above where you initially start out, and others, if they have some college degrees or some college credits, can actually start at E3. You don't have to start at E1. You can just start at E3. So this mission being given to 2 E3s was really intimidating, but also really impressive. And I'm glad they, of course, took the task and, at the end were successful. Not maybe together, but the mission was successful and the offensive was, it wasn't prevented actually, but the message was given to the one who could decide to call it off. And then it just, fog of war. We'll get there. Let's keep moving. The sheer number. So when you're watching this film, and you're just seeing how long the trench is, the amount of people in a platoon, a battalion, a unit, and then the amount of people in a different battalion miles away. There's just thousands of people. So this movie does relatively effectively make the viewer feel as though it's hard to grasp the scale of, war, I guess, and just how many people and soldiers get involved. So the scale was something noteworthy from 1917. Next note I wrote while watching the movie was carnage everywhere. So war is, this note says across World War I's no man's land. So that's just something that the two main characters had to accomplish. They had to cross no man's land, and it was completely scary, the idea. And I mean, while you're watching, the characters have to do this. I mean, intel says they will not get shot because the adversaries are focusing somewhere else, or they've moved. But it's still incredibly scary. Probably the 20-minute, maybe 15-minute shot of them crossing no man's land, and just the scale of where the mortars came down. It's crazy. So the scene in which one of the two main characters passes away, it definitely hit. I think it'll hit for anyone watching the film because it was shot well, and there was enough character development to make it worth it, like to make you feel connected. But to say it succinctly, for my military folks out there, it's like having a best friend from your unit, from your squadron, from basic training across the branches. Having the person you talked the most to and who knew you the best and saw you when you were vulnerable and tired and sad, it's like losing them. I felt it when I watched the movie. So that's something this film does well. We already talked about that, it being a single take. Last two things, actually last three. One, there's a scene probably an hour and a half in, maybe an hour and 15 minutes in, where there are flares going up. It's a night scene and there's flares, and the only real light coming from the scene are just the flares going up and this main character cutting through a bombed French town. I think we're in France. I think. It was just a really, beautifully shot, awesome, exciting, thrilling scene. So if you do watch the movie, look forward to the scene where there are just flares going up and the character needing to not get shot, because he is not alone. I'll just say that. And finally, the last two things, I think the lessons from this movie would be that pride can be extremely dangerous. They dropped that post-it note earlier in the film where some of the people giving advice to the main character said, make sure when you give the direction from higher command to call off the offensive, make sure you give that message in a public setting. Because if you say it just one-on-one and they're able to say they never got that message, that could happen. It's a possibility. So make sure you actually tell them where there's other people to listen, because sometimes pride and the drum of war is beating and people want to see the battlefield and want an offensive to go. And the final one, this was just a thing that we're going to run into throughout this military movie review project, but it's the fog of war, which just speaks, that concept just speaks to the chaos of a war or battle setting in which communications are degraded, understanding goes down, misinterpretations occur, delay in response time, and also having to make decisions on limited information. All of that leads to things that would not normally take place happening, and sometimes plans falling apart because of what? The fog of war. That does actually wrap up my discussion of the film 1917. Let me know if you have seen it down below. If not, let me know if you want to check it out. Definitely watch the trailer. If you're only going to watch the trailer, let me know still if you like the trailer or not. It was a good movie. I would recommend it. So it definitely passed the test, and I would say it's worth your time. In closing, my name, if I didn't say it in the beginning, is Michael Inman. You can see it down below. I'm an active duty military member. You can follow me on Instagram if you'd like to see me a little bit more at Michael A. Inman _. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one of these. The sun is gone, but it's okay because I have a little bit of light right there. Anywho, have a good day. I will talk to you all later, and make sure to subscribe. Bye.